Today we want to talk about the law of attraction. At some point, I don't know, 15 years ago, we had this big thing, this secret, and a lot of people were started with the law of attraction, and slowly but surely it got forgotten. But the principles of the law of attraction are as important today as they were before. So the first question you need to ask yourself always, what is it that you want? What is it really that your heart's desire is? Because that's your starting point. And what we want to share with you today is some tips to help you create more of what you want in your life.
So the first step we'd like to share with you is to use all channels of information. So that means that when you know what you want, let's say something easy like a beautiful new car. Say you want that car and you're really clear on the model, the color, the way it's going to come to you, obviously in an easeful way. So when you've got all those elements of clarity, the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're sending out that information in all ways possible. Now, which ways do we have? We have a visual channel, right? So you want to create a vision board, for instance. That's something Roy will talk about in a minute. So a visual representation of what it is that you want. So you might want to cut out the picture of that car, stick it somewhere where your unconscious mind can receive the message that this is where we're going. So that's the visual part. Then we have another really important part, and that is the auditory channel. So the auditory channel comes in all the sounds that you receive on the outside, but also the conversation inside of your head, the audio-digital channel. So make sure to know what it would sound like if you had that great car. What would the sound of that engine be? What would the sound of your voice be when you receive that car? What would you say to yourself inside of your head when you've achieved that? So get the auditory channel covered too. Next, maybe the most important part, the kinesthetic channel. That means the feelings also that you can generate inside of your body that are hopefully as elevated as possible. So elevated emotions like joy, compassion, love are all emotions that are actually the rocket fuel for your manifestation powers. This means that when you see that picture of your beautiful new car and you're imagining what it would sound like, you also feel that happiness in your body that you would feel if you actually managed to sit in there, which you will when you tune all your channels towards that direction. So let's now move on to the vision board.
I have a great example about cars. When I first heard about the law of attraction, I didn't believe it could be that easy. So in order to prove that point for myself, I said, let me now wish something that I really don't want. So what I did is I took a picture of a Mercedes, a big Mercedes, not a typical car that I would buy, to see if that would really work. So because if you can prove it in something that you don't want, then it's even easier to prove what you do want. So it was a Mercedes, a four-door Mercedes. While I love small cars, a little more sporty kind of cars, two-sitters, those kind of cars. So I took this picture, and every day behind my desk, I sit there and close my eyes and imagine driving this Mercedes, feeling how it would be on the road, smelling it and all of that. It was a specific model and so on. I did it for 3 months, every day for at least 5 to 7 minutes. And after 3 months, there was no Mercedes, of course, in front of the door. And what happened just a couple of months later, I was invited to create a clinic in Switzerland. And this was in St. Gallen, and there was a move there, and the person who was to be the investor was waiting for me in Zurich airport, and he brought me to the new home with my family at the time. And then he said to me, Roy, of course you also need a car. And he said, by coincidence, one of my directors, it was a tapestry company, just was fired or took his leave, I do not remember, and he handed me the keys of that car. Now, you can imagine, I was shocked because it was exactly the car on my picture, the same colors, everything exactly the same. I was so upset with myself because I said, why didn't I visualize a Porsche or a Ferrari or something else? So this was a story that you can see that sometimes when you focus on something, even if you don't want it, but you give it attention, you may attract this also in your life. And this is also part of the law of attraction. So now I would like to talk a little bit about vision board. So in this case, I just took one picture. But if you want to create a life, it's not about one thing. It's not about a car. You want to create a lifestyle. You want maybe some other house. You want to have a family. You want to attract maybe the woman of your dreams or the man of your dreams. And that's what we call the vision board. You create, you put all kinds of images and words that for you represent metaphorically that what you want to create. And this vision board is something that you want to look at regularly and you want to affirm, because affirmations are important. You need to affirm as if it's already happened. In our family, we have several vision boards. We have a joint vision board. Joy has a vision board. Even our daughter has a vision board. Actually, everyone in our family has a vision board.
So the easiest way to create a vision board is to get a whole stack of magazines and pictures, make sure there's a picture of you in there, and then you create a collage out of all the different images that convey to your unconscious mind what your ideal lifestyle would be like. So make sure that you don't only include material goods, but that you also include pictures of you being really happy, or words that mean a lot to you, like peace or joy or comfort or whatever it is that you want. And then as you create this vision board, put it all on one big board so that it's really big and visual for your unconscious mind to take in, and hang it somewhere where you will see it often. So great places are the kitchen, your bedroom, the bathroom, and then take a screenshot with your phone and make that picture the background picture for your phone. So you're really using every opportunity for your unconscious mind to receive the message, this is what I want. Another tip I'd like to give you for vision boards is use the vision board in a way that you can connect to that future. So stand in front of it every day and imagine stepping into that portal, into that timeline where all of that has already been created. And just spend a few minutes every day breathing, dreaming yourself into that reality. And then if you notice some fears coming up or some sabotage inside of you, like some beliefs, oh, I'll never be able to do that, make sure you use our #1 brain hack, the switch. When you do this movement and affirm inside of yourself, regardless of if I believe I can create this or not, even if I feel fear, even if I feel limitations, and I love and accept myself when I throw those all out of the window and now step into my quantum future, or something like that, you will switch that negative emotion, that limitation inside of your mind, and remind your brain where you want to go. So this simple brain hack, just do this, look at your vision board and breathe deep breaths. That will anchor it into your brain, and that's where you want it to go.
Absolutely. And one of the most important things why people don't create what they want is that they don't have the self-worth, the self-image to create that. We see that in statistics. People winning the lottery, 80% of them within 5 years lose everything. We see it with soccer players and other people who start sabotaging because their self-image, their self-worth is not in, let's say, resonance with what they want. So one of the most important things you want to do is to affirm daily basis as well. So standing in front of there, do the switching, but I say, I am already there. It's already happening. You actually state as if it's happening in the now. So affirmations are very, very powerful. And one other thing that can block you is just, Joy mentioned a little bit already, is negative self-talk. So I think it's important also to become aware of the negative self-talk. And what can we do with negative self-talk, Joy?
Well, I'm going to use the same tool. If you do the switch, every single time you notice you're talking negatively to yourself, you're bringing yourself down, you're telling yourself what you can't do, what you're bad at and all that, do the switch, take a breath, and reaffirm what you really want. So say something like, I am strong, I am powerful, I am beautiful, I am wise, all the good things your unconscious really needs you to say.
Right. One I like to say is something also like, every day in every way I'm getting stronger. Every day in every way it's getting closer. So that's a way where you process the progress in yourself. And the other thing that's important is to dream, so to visualize. And we call that creating a portal to the quantum future that you really want. You want to be spending time there and feel it, like Joy said, with the three visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So you want to spend time before you go to sleep in the morning. I call it dream time or daydream time, so that for the subconscious mind, it becomes as real. And what happens when the two things for the subconscious is real and while you're living still in other reality? What is that exactly? So when we spend dream time, in our subconscious mind, we create an alternate reality. The subconscious mind no longer knows the difference between what's real and what's not real. So even though your bank account is not there yet, but your subconscious mind starts to believe there's another way and starts to attract that more and more and more. And what we call that is like the quantum voyage. You're going to another timeline. And when you go to the other timeline, there are three important things that you need to do. One is to observe yourself in that future, so you're learning from yourself. Then you want to start communicating with yourself in the future. And the last thing is merging. Can you explain a bit more about the merging of the future self and the now self?
Well, this merging of future self and quantum self with now self is actually a technique that comes from an old Russian neuropsychologist, and he was called Dr. Rykov. And Rykov discovered that he could take an average group of musical students to a level of genius just by teaching them under hypnosis how to merge with that genius. Sounds really out there? Well, it isn't. It's been scientifically proven that this technique is one of the most powerful ways to keep the portal to your ideal self open. So that your connection to your quantum self, that you that already has everything that you're dreaming of and desiring, is so strong that the reality between then and now collapses. So they become one, and suddenly you're there and you're living that quantum lifestyle.
And what happens, the more you resonate with that other timeline, is something phenomenal called synchronicity. Synchronicity are these little coincidences that happen that are like door openers to new chances. And what we know now, and we've had a lot of experience with that, when we send out our intention, it's like a magic formula and things start happening. And a nice story was, for example, with Grace wanting a new nanny. We would like to tell the story how she created the perfect nanny for her.
Well, Grace has always been very good at manifesting what she wants, and one of the ways that she created her new nanny was that she sent out a very clear intention of what this nanny would look like, how old she would be, and what she would enjoy doing. And because we love our daughter and we thought that's a great way to go, we let her go ahead, but we forgot one important part, and that was that this nanny also had to suit our desires and needs too, right? And they might be different from a parent to a kid. So what happened was that Grace manifested the ideal nanny for herself, but this lady unfortunately was not the right person for our entire family. So after a time we had to let go of her, and we noticed that next time we've got to get into a team with Grace and make sure that the intention that we set is really harmonious in our field, that we all want the same thing. So when you know what you want, you really want to make sure that you're sending that out in the clearest and most effective way. So maybe Dr. Roy, tell us something about that.
Right. So the most important thing that we're going to close off with right now is intention, because intention is the power of creation. And basically there are two times that are best for sending out intention. It has to do with your brain waves. So when we're waking up in the morning, we're not fully awake yet, and our brain waves are not in what we call beta brain waves. Beta brain waves, when we're active, awake, we're doing things, that's not a good time to send things out. When we are more relaxed, like in alpha, after meditation, watching a video of music, calming, that's when our brain is a little calmer and we're more connected to the field of what we call the quantum field. So you want to do in the morning, sending out the intention, so that's when you daydream and before you go to sleep. You can also do it in between, but then it's good to relax, do some meditation, and then go into that quantum field of all the possibilities where you choose what you want to create.
So remember, where focus goes, energy flows. So the more you focus on what you want, the longer times you spend in a relaxed brainwave state, daydreaming your ideal life, the quicker that will manifest for you in reality.
Thank you.